A huge moo to the herd, and welcome to episode 16 of our Omnifactory playthrough. So, between episodes, I've done a fair amount of work, and you may notice I have a second simulation chamber up here, which is already backstuffed with pristine Enderman matter. I found the problem I was having was I wasn't getting enough ender pearls to the advanced fluid extractor. Now I have a further problem in that despite having those fluid ender pearls, there is a slowdown in production of nether quartz because the furnace isn't able to process as much glass as it should. So I will have to tweak that later on, try and get that balanced. The other issue I found is well, I added a few more models in, and as you can see I have the Ghast data model, the skeleton's been put in there with a skeleton, and the thermal elemental data model, which is a pain in the rear to make because you have to make where is it? Elemental reduction fluid, which requires hydrofluoric acid, which is fluorine and hydrogen. And for fluorine, I had to grind up some, lepidolite ore, turn it into impure, and then electrolyze that. It went on forever. But I've had those models running, but I've also found another issue in that. So the thing with the what's it called? The thermal elemental data model is you've got quite a few items that you want to select. And I was going to just say, all right, just add some more loot fabricators in, but can't round robin them because the output from this is two items. It's the pristine thermal elemental matter and also the overwheldium matter. So I'm going to have to set up a solution whereby they get pumped out to, say, chests or drawers or something, and then route from those drawers directly into the loot fabricators. So we'll probably tackle that in another episode. But today's episode is going to focus on crates and chests. Well, predominantly storage. And for that end, as you can see over here, I've started on AE2. Because I've got this lovely storage drawer set up here, and as you can see we've got plenty of resources, but it's a pain going over here, counting out however many I need, and then taking them over to my crafting table, doing whatever I need to do here, run into the machines, blah blah blah. We really need to start focusing on automation. So to that end, I have crafted a charger, and the charger is used to turn, I haven't actually got any on me, Certus quartz crystals like this into charged Certus quartz. And it's very manual at the moment because we don't have access to the thermal dynamics machine, but when we do we can just automate that, so that'll be a nice easy one. I also have a crystal growth chamber which allows me to make pure versions of the different crystals. So for instance, if I take these fluix crystals, and they themselves are fun to make, grind them up, get some sand, so my fluix is done. If you need to make fluix crystals, the recipe in this is take one nether crystal, one charged Certus quartz crystal, and one piece of redstone. Find a puddle of water, throw it in, and you will get 2 fluix crystals, which is what I did to make all of these. So if I add sand and my ground up fluix, shove them in here, you can see they will grow. And we'll leave that 20 seconds or so. watch it grow, and once that's done, we will get our pure Fluix crystals, and you get 2 of them, as you saw from the fact that when you turn them into the seeds, you get 2 of them. Now these are great and they can be used in most recipes, but be careful, because I found that not all of the Fluix crystals are interchangeable. So for instance, you can't grind these up in a pulverizer, and if you can't grind them in a pulverizer, you can't use them, the Fluix dust, for different recipes, including making cables. So something to bear in mind. You don't want to convert all of your Fluix crystals into pure. Right, we have an energy acceptor which I made. This is plugged into my main network, and you notice I've upgraded everything into N-Steel. This allowed me to run more simulation chambers and loop fabricators, and this gives us up to 32,000 RF. I've also got an energy cell. This is basically a battery for the AE2 network, so when we are starting to do any crafting, etc., sometimes it can just pull too much power and you'll find the screens blank out, etc. So worth having an energy cell. And this monstrous piece of equipment is the Inscriber, excuse me, which is used to make, I don't think I've got any on me, no, but we use the Inscriber plates plus various mediums, so for instance gold plates, silicon plates, can't remember the others off the top of my head, and they will give us the various components, and we then need to use electronic circuits to make various things, which we will go through. But this one is the bog standard Inscriber from Applied Energistics, and there is a better one. In fact, why don't we just try and make that quickly now? So we're going to make an engineering processor. For that I need printed silicon and diamond plates. So let's grab a diamond. Pop this in my advanced compressor. And I've got some silicon plates made up. Quick tip for making silicon. I was looking through all the different, I don't want printed silicon, I want the Inscriber silicon, and what's the one I'm making? Engineering processor. I was looking through all the different things, and a quick and easy way of getting stone dust, which you can then centrifuge into the, I think stone dust is, 1 second. Is it centrifuged? Yeah, into silicon dioxide dust is furnaces, stone furnaces. Make a load up, grind it up, and you get a load of stone dust, which you can then use into silicon dioxide, which can be electrolyzed into silicon dust, which you can then heat up into silicon ingots, press them into plates, and you're done. So a quick use of the Inscriber. You can see how rubbish this is. Silicon, Inscriber, and wait for it to go. You can only put one item in at a time, so you can't put stacks in or anything like that. So if I put my diamond plate in there, oops, it won't work because that one's locked. So we're going to upgrade these now, hopefully, and then that plus that, you can see, only allows one in. That gives me my engineering processor. Start quest quit. The advanced Inscribers, excuse me, are much better and relatively easy to make. So I just need iron, another engineering processor, a couple of hoppers, and an Inscriber. So very quickly, let's take all of our irons over here. Right, so how much iron do I need? 14 iron should do. Some chests, 2 should do. Is that circuit on 5? No. Two chests and 10. I'm sure that's right. Oh, it's plates, that's why. Brain will work eventually today. So we'll get the advanced inscriber made, and then once we've done that, we'll start connecting up our ME network and start making life a little bit easier for us. This will probably be the last bit of crafting because I've done everything else, so I'm just going to get these hoppers. What else do we need? We need our inscriber, so we'll just knock that one out. And we just need another engineering plate, so let's grab our diamond. Pop that in our compressor. Grab the silicon. See all this backwards and forwards? This is what we're trying to avoid. And why? Oh yeah, we're going over to the inscriber, which I just dismantled. Alright, so one silicon press. And that in the diamond. How to make a whole stack of electronic circuits as well, because we're going to burn through these like nobody's business once we start using more for AE2. Last one of these, our advanced subscriber. Quest. And now I can go, I'll tell you what, let's make up a load of silicon, because we could only do one at a time before, but I have 4 silicon plates. You can just drop those in and look, 4 of them straight in there, and obviously this needs power. Doesn't seem to indicate it needs power. Yep, it does need power. Okay. Or at least it needs to be attached to the network. There we go. Much easier to use. Okay, so that's that bit done. Let's look at our chest of wonders. So I have made a load of ME conduits. The great thing about ME conduits is they are an Ender IO compatible cable. So it means now I want to go yeah, and there, oops, wrong one. And that connect. Geronimo, going back up. just do it this way. So yeah, they all stack nicely with all of the other Ender IO stuff. It means you can avoid cables everywhere. Well, that would have been awkward if I did that. These all set up. And hopefully if this all works, I should be able to start improving my crafting efficiency significantly. I want this to go roughly about here. This is where I'm going to set up the next piece of stuff, and that will be this little thing here, my ME drive. I'll put it next to our energy acceptor. Cool. And the other thing I made was a 1K storage drive, not the fluid one. That will be for a later episode. I now have storage, and last but not least is my ME crafting terminal. Now the predecessor to this is just the ME terminal, and that allows you to view everything in there, but the ME crafting terminal allows us to craft things from that terminal. So what I do need, I wish I'd picked it up, because this requires a non-Ender IO connection, I've made up some covered cables because they are part of the ME conduits, and I'm just going to pop that on there. Take our crafting terminal, and now we've got it. And at the moment there's nothing in here, but if I grab, say, 30 wrought iron ingots and drop them in there, that's now on my device, and I've got 12 of 1024 bytes used, so I can mean to store up to 1,000 items, and one of 63 types. So each of these storage cells will allow me to have 63 different types of item in there. And obviously you can see I can do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 storage cells. Now 1K is not going to cut it, so I'm going to upgrade those between episodes to at least 4Ks, or if not higher if it's possible, because we want to be storing plenty of stuff. The great thing is I can now craft stuff straight from in here. So if I go, oh, I don't know, a nice easy one. Let's grab some cobblestone. Throw that into my ME network. Right, I want to make a furnace. Grab that, click, done. There's my furnace. Oh, it's going to be so much easier, especially once we've connected up all of the materials. And I'll take that furnace and stick it into my macerator so I can get some stone dust out of it. You can use stone, but you have to turn cobblestone into stone before doing it, so it's not really worth it. So the next thing to do is take an ME interface. These are our gateways for various machines, and as we do more auto crafting, etc., we'll be using these more extensively. And what I'm going to do is I'll take this and a piston, and this becomes an ME storage bus. I should be able to attach to here. Now the one thing I'm not sure is, do these connect? suspect not. So I'll have to use a covered cable. That's weird. I would have thought that would have connected up. Does it have to be an additional block away? We're about to find out. Nope. So that does work. Oh no, I broke it. Yeah, there it goes. I wonder if the did that pick up, or is it on the floor? It's on the floor. Let's try this storage bus there, and let's try grabbing one of these and see if it does actually connect. I'm going to go with the answer to that question is no. So we'll have to use a covered cable, but that will now connect. And if this is right, look at this, I now have full access to my storage drawers, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Which is going to make life so much easier, especially when it comes to crafting stuff, etc. That was relatively painful. Less, I was going to say painful. The other thing I'm going to start working on is using fluids. So when I was making up everything else, I was having to use these guys to transfer stuff backwards and forwards, which isn't exactly ideal. So there is a fluid interface which I made over here, and fluid storage cells, which allows you to store up to 5 different fluids, but the recommendation is you format them for one fluid, so you don't get one fluid knocking out the space for all the others. And that has a fluid terminal, which I'm just going to add cable here, pop my fluid terminal just on there, so any fluids etc I can see listed in there. So that's a good start for me. I now need to start getting more storage in. I need to get rid of all of these storage drawers and start making sure everything is in place. The storage bus and the drawers, as I was reading that as the base gets bigger and we're doing more demands, this can potentially cause TPS lag, but for the base being the size it is as it is at the moment, I think we're good. But one of the things I will try and do is, as things do start to get bigger, we'll try and avoid that. So between episodes I'll add some more storage in place, and we'll start looking at how we can progress a bit further in the quest book. So see, we've done a fair chunk of that. Well, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. So I had a lot of dark steel that needed to be made, and dark steel requires, just grab that rogue cable there, obsidian to make, which is a pain in the rear to get. So instead I set up an atomic reconstructor, and this is a very crude setup. In fact, I will demonstrate it, because what I wanted are void crystals, and void crystals are made from coal. And as you can see over here, I have 8,829 blocks of coal. I've just realised I've walked all the way over here to get access to my coal, when I could have just gone here and taken a block of stack of coal. So I'll have to get used to that. But this setup is simply an atomic reconstructor powered, a precision dropper, a pressure plate. The atomic reconstructor is in pulse mode. The pressure plate, when something lands on it, causes that to trigger. I have a range collector, which has a whitelist for things like void crystal blocks and Restonia and things like that. And at the top is a timer, and the timer is set to 20 ticks. So it will pulse every second. So if I just drop this in here and run away, you can see it will just drop them one at a time, and the range collector will just pick them all up. Very simple, very crude. It does need to be moved, that was just temporary, but it does mean I can then use the void crystals from the blocks to make dark steel. Saves me making obsidian. So, brief entry into ME storage. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do like this episode, feel free to give it a like. If there's anything you want to see change in the episode, feel free to enter anything in the comments. Any constructive feedback is taken on board, and it can only help make the things a bit more enjoyable for people to watch. If you want to see more of these episodes, please feel free to subscribe. Until then, I wish you a very pleasant day. Goodbye.